Hey, Robin Robbins here, founder of TechnologyMarketingToolkit.com, and Happy New Year. I'm shooting this video the first full week back from the New Year's break, from the Christmas holiday break, so it's time to put your pajamas away, put on real clothes, get out of your food stupor, and get back to work. And if you're like me, you're probably already thinking about this year coming up, 2016. What are you going to do to make it the best year ever? And every single company that I know that does any kind of business planning, one of the things you've got to think about is sales and marketing, right? I mean, if you're going to grow your company, you got to not only get more customers, but you got to get better quality customers. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how can I go about doing that? What should I do different? What do I got to change? What do I got to improve this year? And hopefully you take a look back at the year that we just went through, and you use any kind of, I'll use the word failures as a learning experience in what did not work, okay? And so one of the things I know, if you're trying to reach any goal, is that you want to look for people who have already had success in the area that you're trying to have success, and you model them. You model their beliefs, you model their behaviors, right? So if you're an IT services business, which is a very good chance that you are, since that's the audience I play to, you're probably saying to yourself, how do I get more and better quality managed services clients? How do I get clients who see the value of what I do? And how do I make closing sales easier? And how do I eliminate price resistance? And how do I get that steady stream of new clients coming into me so that I can be a little bit pickier about the clients I want to take on and which ones I don't. And so you can fire the clients that are whiny and complaining and don't pay on time. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And the only way you can do that is if you crank up the sales and marketing engine. And that might mean you have to do additional and more campaigns. It also might mean that you got to start looking at hiring some salespeople, maybe some inside salespeople to support you if you're the closer. Or maybe you need to hire a marketing person who's going to finally get some of this stuff going, your newsletter out, improve your website, do your Google pay-per-click, get some of the direct mail campaigns out with some follow-up, whether it's on LinkedIn or search engine optimization. I mean, there's dozens of ways you can get new clients. And everybody always wants to know, what's the one campaign I should do that's going to work the best? And you know the answer, if you've been a client of mine for any length of time, is there is no one thing. It's the marketing campaign you will do, the one that you will see through to the very end. For years, I taught aerobics. I don't anymore. I've got 2 kids, so it's something had to give, running a business and traveling and so forth. So, but when I was teaching aerobics, the question people would come up to me and ask me all the time after class would be like, they'd show me the body part they didn't like, and they'd say, hey, Robin, what's the best exercise that I should do to get rid of these, this gut, or these thighs I don't like, or the bingo wings, the flabby, if you play bingo and the old ladies wave their arm and they say bingo and all those, well, you get the idea. It's kind of gross. But whatever the body part was, they would say, what's the one exercise I should do to get rid of it? My answer was always the same. It's the one you'll do. If you don't like lifting weights, well, then go play tennis. If you don't like to play tennis, then maybe you can go swimming if you like swimming. The key to it is you can burn calories in a lot of different ways, and it'll all work if you will stick with it. So same with marketing, telemarketing, direct mail, LinkedIn prospecting, Google pay-per-click, all of the campaigns, canvassing, the things that I've given you. If you're a client of mine in the toolkit, there's literally dozens of campaigns that you can implement. But if you're only going to do it half-ass, if you're only going to try and see if something works and not really work on it to create it and cultivate it into a marketing oil well, you're just going to be in this random acts business where you jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, never making any real progress, maybe having a win here or there, but you're not replicating or duplicating success. Okay, so as we go into this new year, it's really important that you make a decision and you commit that you're going to finally put a solid marketing plan in place. But going back to my original sort of thought or comment was, one of the best ways to get a result is to model success. My mentor used to say, Tony Robbins used to say, success leaves clues. So don't go around and bump around in the dark trying to figure out what worked and what doesn't work, and you're sort of on an island and You don't know if it's the thing is a bad idea, or maybe you implemented wrong, or what's the subtle nuance, what's the step that you missed. Instead of doing that, again, go find somebody who's getting the growth and the clients and the sales and the results that you want in your business, and just model their behavior. So I've put together a special video because it's a brand new year, and I want to give you a shot of motivation, right? If you feel like, hey, you've kind of settle down into the Christmas and New Year holiday and you're kind of not feeling real enthusiastic or excited about the new year, I've got some jumper cables for you, okay? And this next video is going to be a montage of my winners of my Better Your Best competition every year. These are all IT services companies. All of them are managed service. I'm trying to think. All of them are managed service providers, but some of them also provide some other services like web design, web hosting. Some of them do software development as well, but most of them are managed service providers, and every single one of them had incredible results in their business. Some of them were small, like a small, two-man shop, one-man shop, and some of them are a little bit larger, like 5-6 million. But the thing you're going to learn from all of these videos is that they did something. You're also going to see that they all did something a little different, but the key was they all made a commitment to do some type of marketing and see it through to its final end and success. So before I show you the videos, let me give you a little background, and that is every year at our annual IT Sales and Marketing Boot Camp, which right below this video you should be registering. There should be a registration link, so there's a plug from our shameless commerce department. But every year we have what we call the Better Your Best competition, and we get 7 of our clients that we pick from those who submit to be in the contest. So they have to submit an essay, and they've got to submit their numbers year upon year, growth and new sales, clients, managed recurring revenue, profits, and they got to write a little essay telling us what they did and how they implemented it. And we want to make sure that they actually did it through marketing, not through some lucky chance or got one big client and grew. We want to see that they actually implemented a good, solid marketing plan and grew. And then they get on stage every year at our boot camp, the 7 of them, and they compete for spokesperson position in the Better Your Best competition. And the audience loves it because they get to basically hear the blueprints of 7 very, very successful IT service firms, what they did, how they did it, how the marketing campaigns they implemented, what worked and what didn't work, because sometimes knowing what didn't work is just as powerful. And these presentations I put together for you are for the last 6 years, and these are all the winning presentations. So these people all won the Better Your Best contest, and they won the spokesperson position for my company. And I've kind of outlined a little bit of who you're going to see in this video, like Brad and Victoria Myers, Myers Network Solution. They're a husband and wife team, small managed service provider. And the year that they won actually was a really tough year. It was 2008, 2009. If you remember, the economy tanked. They had in their area, they're out in California, they had 12% or 13% unemployment rate. They had businesses closing down left and right. They were losing clients because they were just going out of business. And in that year, though, they added almost $500,000 in sales. Then you look at Tom Malesic, who started up his MSP basically from a cold start. He was a web design company, never even heard of managed services, and got the great idea that, hey, you know what? We ought to open an IT services company, because there was a client, or there were clients of his that were coming to him asking him for IT support, and he was referring them to this MSP. And he started thinking, well, why am I referring? Why don't I start my own MSP and take it over and earn this business myself, right? So he gets into that and he realizes it's a tough business. It's an entirely different business than web design. He learned a lot. And then that year he went from like 0 in managed recurring revenue to several thousand. In fact, he had a 22% increase in sales and a 527% increase in bottom line profits, starting from a cold start. No managed services clients, figured it out, got the contracts, got the tools in place, built the team, all that in a year's time. It's a pretty phenomenal story. Then you're going to hear from John Matazzi. John is in Joplin, Missouri. And if you maybe recall, several years ago, there was a F5 tornado that ripped through Joplin, Missouri. And that went and just wiped out his office. There was pictures of him standing on top of his office building, and it was nothing but a pile of rubble. And he lost a number of clients. He actually lost $13,000 per month in managed recurring revenue because those clients just went out of the business because this tornado went through and wiped him out. But that year, even after losing his business, losing all those clients, added $19,400 a month in managed recurring revenue, had a huge increase in net profit. Then you're going to hear from Jennifer Holmes. She's down in Atlanta. She added close to $500,000 in sales in the year that she won. Tom Andrulis, the next one, $2 million in sales in a single year. And then Jay Ryersey, who is our current spokesperson, added over $1 million in sales to his managed services business. And I want to add on, none of these guys acquired other small businesses. They basically did this all through organic growth, through better marketing, through better salesmanship. And these videos that you're about to watch, they're going to unpack what they did and how they did it. The other thing I'm going to do is right below this video is I'm going to outline the numbers that the increases for these people, and also their essays, so you can understand what they did, how they did it. And the reason I put this video montage together is because, well, first of all, I think if you're a client of mine, if you've ever been to boot camp, if you're a Producers Club member, you're going to get a laugh at some of these old presentations. These are people that you know, and kind of seeing where they were, and even today, the results that I'm giving you, their results are even better than that. And if you're not a client, you're still going to get some inspiration. You're going to see that they use different things, but there is a common thread in all of this, and that is they made a decision that they are going to get serious about growing their business and marketing. And I want to make sure you guys know these people aren't paid to do this. They're not professional speakers. So you're going to see them on stage. They're nervous. They've never presented to a crowd as large as at our boot camp. I mean, we get 850 people, but they're not paid. These are genuine, honest to goodness presentations from people who work their tail off in the same business that you're in, and we're able to get great results. And again, some of them are small and some of them are a little bit bigger MSPs. So there's something in here for everybody. So, all right, that's it. That's enough, I guess, of talking, kind of prefacing everything here. Right now, I'm going to have those videos of the finalists, but let me just say this. Again, I'll remind you, make sure you get registered for this year's boot camp. Again, right below this video with the essays, we'll have a link to the boot camp. We've got a phenomenal lineup of speakers, and you're going to see this year's 7 finalists compete for the Better Your Best. And I promise you, it won't disappoint. If you're looking, saying, hey, how can I get more clients? Don't use guesswork. Come to boot camp, get the blueprints, we give them to you, we give you all the campaigns they've implemented, you hear the essays, you hear the stories, that way you can go home and do it yourself, all right? The only thing that's gonna hold you back is whether or not you're gonna make a decision right now that this is gonna be your best year ever. Right now, you make a decision that you're not going to just kind of stagnate or barely grow along or never figure out this marketing. You can figure it out. Every single one of these people was a tech. They aren't sales and marketing people. They don't have a special gene or something that makes them better. They just made a decision that this was going to be the year they were going to really pull out the stops, really learn how to market, and really know how to grow their business. And that's all you need. You need the determination to make a decision and a real commitment, and then you need the blueprints to how do you model success, and that's what I'm about to give you. So here are the videos. I hope you enjoy them, and here's to a fantastic 2016.
Year 2009 was really a challenge for us, and I think for probably most of you it was a challenge as well. We had clients that went out of business. We had clients that weren't paying late, and Brad and I sat down one day and said, whoa, we have got to get some additional clients, we need some additional revenue, and we need to really do it right now. So using technology marketing materials, listening to people that we'd heard in Genius League, speakers at boot camp, we sat down and said, look, we want to create basically 3 marketing strategies. First strategy we want is that we want to build greater awareness of our company by using drip marketing campaigns. Number 2, we wanted to build credibility with potential customers by using trust-building events. And number 3, we wanted to focus our limited time and budget by just focusing on the target market that was in our region. So I'm going to actually go through, as Dave kind of mentioned, I love to do marketing stuff. So these are the 3 binders of things that I did this last year. And I thought I would actually show you, because one of the things I really want to impress on you guys is that marketing and reaching a marketing goal is really a matter of creating a strategy and doing it consistently, focusing on it and doing it consistently. So let me do a few marketing things that we did, and let me show you what worked and what didn't, because I'm just exactly like Robin. I want to see what my leads were and how much it cost me. I want to see what's working. So here's one of our first leads. This is actually, did it in May, and it was a National Be Kind to Animals Week. This is actually a dog bone that's in here. This resulted for us in 17 leads, and these were all qualified leads, 17 leads and $119 a lead. So I don't know what it is, kids, dogs, this is absolutely a winner from the beginning. Second campaign that we did, and Dave, I was interesting to hear what your results were. We've always had fantastic results on the eyeball campaign in Halloween. We've done a sliding eyeball, we've done several things. This year we did a glow-in-the-dark, gooey eyeball that you could throw on the wall and it would stick to the wall. I thought, oh, this is going to be a great winner. We had 2 leads, and they cost me over $1,100 for each lead. So, we said to ourselves, I think it was the economy. I think it was just people were in shock. This year, this didn't work out, but we're going to do this again next year. A third campaign that we did in October was the CPA campaign. We also did this in October at the same time we was doing the Halloween one, but this was to CPA offices. And we thought October would be a good month to do it. We got 0 results. $357. Really, I was only sending out to 300 CPA offices. This we're going to do again, but I would say do it in June or July is going to be maybe a better time frame. Another one that really worked well for us is at the end of the year we did a Do It Again in 2010. Don't Do It Again in 2010. Yeah. Campaign, and basically this was a don't do it again, fire that IT guy that never returns your phone calls, and so we sent this out, great results, had 6 qualified leads, cost was $377. All of these we made sales on last year in the worst year that we had. The other monthly drip campaigns that we did, and you heard Dave say something similar, we did monthly print campaigns, monthly newsletters, monthly tech-tip postcards. We wrote an article every month, a technology article in the newsletter of one of our local chambers. And then the last thing that we did, is using a twist on the print marketing campaigns. Take those same print campaigns that you have, print out an extra 100, and begin using those to canvas in your local business parks. We knew before any lead list knew which businesses had gone out of business, which business parks were empty. So this is Robin's scroll campaign, the scroll with the peanuts. Instead, we did this for St. Patrick's Day, and this is Goldfoot O'Fiddles with a 4-leaf clover in our backyard. Worked great. We did canvassing every month. We have an average of 6 leads every month, and it costs us $43 a lead. Fantastic results. So our second strategy was to build credibility with potential customers through trust-building events. So think of any kind of trust-building event as an opportunity that you have to be face-to-face with somebody else. So we did Business Expo, great opportunity to have a tech there that can talk to a potential client as they come in. 2 leads, $112. On the same hand, we went and spent a lot of money. This was not a success for us. We went to the Machine Tool Expo. We had 3 leads, around $1,600 each, basically because of the booth. Of 3,000 attendees, not one of those 3 leads came from the attendees. Where they came from, and this is where you maximize your multiple opportunities, is we created a trade show survival kit. And we gave one to each of the other other vendors that had booths there that were that are also local businesses. So, this had hand sanitizer in it, and candy bars, and some fruit, and a free coupon, and one of our reports, all, in a paper bag. I mean, easy to do. We could print it in-house. Super cheap to do. Got 3 leads from it. what really benefited from that is 2 joint ventures that we were able to realize as a result of that, so a great result. And then the last thing, which I would say is really a big win for us, is doing lunch and learns. How many people out here are doing lunch and learns? Yeah, great results. Face-to-face, you become the local IT expert in your area. So we did them every other month. We averaged 42 leads. The cost was $47.50. And I'm going to add one thing. One time we only had one person sign up for our lunch and learn. And we said, should we really cancel it? We said, nope. Robin says, do a lead. You have the lunch and learn even if one person shows up. One person showed up. It was like having a personal interview in a restaurant with someone else. The person spent $15,000. So it's like, okay, yeah, keep it going. Yay, yeah, exactly. So the third strategy is, and it's kind of towards the bottom, I'm showing you kind of a lot of other marketing efforts that we did, but 2 that we did towards the bottom that were also helpful is that we hired an appointment setter. Okay. Our third strategy is that we wanted to focus our time and energies on our actual target market. We're interested in 10 PCs and above, Windows-based. So here's all sorts of marketing efforts we did. 2 at the bottom that I would point out is 1, we hired an appointment setter. That was really strategic for us. We had 3 qualified appointments a week. And second of all, we hired an in-house person to qualify our leads. So what were our results? In 2009, our gross sales were up 12%, recurring revenue was up 32%, and number of recurring clients was up 35%. And I liked this next slide because it points out this is not a one-year fluke. We went back and looked. We've been with Robin Robbins program for 2.5 years. And in 2.5 years, our net profit is up 292%, gross sales 42%, MRR 87%, and recurring clients 73%. So Robin and Technology Marketing Toolkit has really transformed and benefited our business. In addition, it has really benefited us personally. And I just wanted to focus on 3. 1, we have more time for family and friends, and that was not something that we had before. Number 2, we personally have an interest in a number of charitable projects around the world. And this gives us the opportunity to spend time and some of our resources in charitable projects that we have an interest in. And the third, it's kind of a personal thing, but by being disciplined in your business, it helps you be disciplined in your personal life. And we're all checked out. On Tuesday, we're entering a medical weight management program to lose weight. So I want to see you in July. I should be a lot thinner. So I'm really excited about that. So why vote for Myers Network Solutions? As spokesperson of the year, 1, we're raving fans of Robin and Technology Marketing Toolkit materials. We've successfully executed a wide range of her materials. We've had super sales results in 2009 and through 2.5 years. We're experienced in creating marketing campaigns using her techniques, but basically creating our own campaigns. And lastly, we'd like to serve as her spokesman because it would be an honor. Thank you.
All right. Excellent.
April 1st, 2006. Yeah, April Fool's Day. I bought a friend of mine, I bought his IT business. I thought this is the perfect addition to my website development company. After all, I was already referring business to him anyway. Why not buy his company? Well, here was the problem. He had no sales process, no way to generate a lead, and quite honestly, it was a customer service nightmare. I had a huge problem, and I had no idea what I was going to do or how I was going to solve it. Well, I believe in fate, and clearly it must have been fate that day that I met Robin. I was reading a junk email newsletter, and Robin had an article in it. I read it, went right to her site. I read the crazy testimonials. Come on, they're all lies, right? I mean, how could that many people have that much success? Just from what, buying a toolkit? You got to be kidding me. But the toolkit came with a money-back guarantee, so I had absolutely nothing to lose. I bought the toolkit. It was exactly what I was looking for. Next, we went to an implementation seminar that Robin had in Washington, D.C. Wow, it was amazing. Robin convinced me of 3 things that day. She said, if you're going to do any marketing, do a monthly print newsletter. Then she said, if you're going to be the expert, you need to write a book. And then she said, then she said, well, you know what, if you really want to do this, I should spend a crazy amount of money and fly to Nashville and come to boot camp. So we did it. Boot camp was a life-changing experience. Raise your hand if this is the first boot camp you've ever been to. Yeah. Words can't describe this, can it? At the end of boot camp, Robin talked about the Producers Club. I said, oh, this is great. I got to do that. Then I found out how much it was going to cost every month. I said, oh my gosh, how can I possibly cost justify this crazy expense? I said to Rich, I said, I don't know. What do you think we ought to do? Rich goes, what do you mean, what do you think we ought to do? Tom, we got to do this. This is perfect. So we sucked it up and we spent the money. And I can honestly say that this is the best business investment I've ever made in 14 years of being in business. Thank you. Over the next 2 years, Robin taught me 3 major concepts. She taught me this concept of monthly recurring revenue. Now, maybe all you guys have this down, but I never heard of it before. Then she taught me how to be the expert, and she truly taught me how to do marketing. So I just really can't thank Robin enough for all the lessons that she's taught me. Let's talk about my favorite topic, which is money. Anybody else like that topic of money? Monthly recurring revenue. This is amazing. If you just add a little bit every single month to monthly recurring revenue, at the end of a year, you have a lot of money. It is amazing. So what you're looking at here is my monthly recurring revenue for the month of 2009 compared to my monthly recurring revenue for the month of December in 2010. These are monthly numbers, not annualized numbers. So you can see we had a huge increase. There were 2 categories that we had a gigantic increase in, which was our search engine marketing and our managed services business. The search engine marketing grew for 2 reasons. One, I truly have an employee that can get you to the first page of Google, so I can actually deliver the service. But the real reason it grew was because Robin taught me how to make a guarantee. Right? Robin guaranteed that toolkit, and quite honestly, it's the only reason I bought it, because of the guarantee. Here's my guarantee. If I can't get your website to the first page of Google, you don't pay me. Now, what prospect would say, oh, that sounds like a bad deal, right? So they buy from me. So that's why we had this huge increase in revenue. Managed services, quite honestly, in 2008, I had never heard the term managed services before. So I got a little better in 2008, a little better in 2009, and really, by the end of 2010, I think I understand it now. So we had this big jump in monthly recurring revenue. What this means is we grew our monthly recurring revenue by $35,000 a month. Think of it this way. When I opened my doors in January of this year, I already knew that I had sold more than $650,000 of revenue because of the increase that we had. Do you think that impacts how you make a business decision and where you put your money and where you want to grow? Huge. So far this year, we've already added over $20,000 a month to monthly recurring revenue. Not annual, monthly. So Robin, I can't thank you enough for teaching me this concept. It's been amazing. Now, if you know me, you know that I love to share all this marketing stuff because I just think it's the coolest thing ever. So I thought, what's the best way I can share all the marketing stuff that we've done this past year with you? So, well, we're a web developer, so we thought we'll build a website and stick all our stuff up there. So the website that you go to get all of our free stuff is givetomthecar.com. It's really a website. So go to givetomthecar.com and you get all of our free stuff. All right. Robin says you want to be the expert. So why do you want to be the expert? The reason you want to be the expert is your conversations with your prospects will change. My prospects stopped asking me questions about if I could help them. And they started asking me questions about how I was going to help them. This is a fundamental shift in the sales process that I learned from Robin. What did Robin say? If you want to be the expert, what do? You write a book. Okay, this is the best $3.25 ad specialty piece that money can buy. Next, Robin says that if you want to be the expert, you produce an audio CD or DVD, right? So let me be real clear here. This is how this works. A book plus a DVD, that's going to be better than your competitor's logo pen. We brought enough copies of our book and our DVD for everyone to have. They're back at Robin's main table. Please help yourself. We really want you to have them. Thanks. Robin also said, if you're going to do anything, do a monthly print newsletter. Well, I think this helps me be the expert. I also make money off it too, so that's kind of nice. So people see us every single month. Then Rich and I were talking. We said, how do we get people to think about us every week? We said, well, let's do a weekly video tip. Oh, my friend said, Tom, you're nuts. Nobody wants to get a video from you every single week. You know, they're going to unsubscribe. You're just going to annoy the living daylights out of them. Just don't do it. Well, people tell me all the time they love my videos, and people actually buy stuff off of them. It's the weirdest thing. Then we said, well, how will you people think about us all the time? So we bought 4 company vehicles and wrapped them with these crazy, crazy graphics. I mean, you don't miss this thing driving down the road. So now people think about me every month, every week, and every day. So all these things together is what creates becoming the expert. Mm-hmm. So, and Robin, you taught me that, so I just can't thank you enough for that life lesson. Last year we did 126 marketing campaigns and strategies. We were truly committed to implementing as much of Robin's materials as we just humanly could. Poor Rich, he needed oxygen most days. Some of our big highlights were we had a referral program. Now, the way the referral program works, the cool little dollar bill, that helps out too, but the way the program works is I'll give you $25 if you give me a referral and I get an appointment with. And then I'll pay another $50 if your friend becomes a customer of ours. And I'll give your friend $100 off our services. So everyone wins. Now, the way we promoted the referral program is it's in our newsletter, and we have videos about it, and it's in our contracts, and it's in our sales literature, all that kind of stuff. But we said, well, how do we really push this? So we had a contest. We gave away a 50-inch flat-screen TV to the person who gave us the most referrals. We had huge, huge success, as you can see from the numbers up on the screen. As an outgrowth of our referral program, we developed a partner program. Robin talks a tremendous amount about joint ventures and partners. So we pay a 10% commission to our partners who refer business to us so they can make a little bit more than the $75. One of the real good fortunes that we had this past year was I got invited to be a guest speaker at some seminars that other people did. One of them was with our local newspaper. So the newspaper was selling a lot of online products, and they had this online community portal. So I got business out of it, which was cool. You know, I got the experience of speaking. But the really neat thing that happened as a result of that, and really, Robin, I don't think it would have happened without the book. I think that was the cornerstone to getting in the door. We formed a relationship with our local newspaper. And as a result, in January of this year, I signed a contract with them to be their search engine marketing vendor. And I trained 5 of their salespeople to sell my services. So, I don't know, you know, maybe it's luck, maybe it's fate. I think it's just all Robin, really. We've got some great goals for this year, and I really feel confident that we're going to hit it. I know you like my goals, right? One of my goals has actually already occurred. I talked to my banker yesterday, and they approved my loan to buy another condo unit in the first floor of my building. So I already got one of the goals down. So you can see that Robin has had a huge impact on my business in the last 2 years, and specifically the last year. My question for all of you is, how is Robin going to impact your business this year, and what are you willing to do to make it happen? Robin, I can't thank you enough. Words just can't describe how you've impacted my business. The best way I can do it is through music. Please play the video. Just as you say, why must I just do it your way? You are the key. Here is my book, DVD. It must have been that something many call fate. It kept on saying I had to wait. Yes, I worked so hard, I just couldn't win till we met. It had to be you, Robin, it's just you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who was a marketing guru. I felt like one too. I felt really great, not a bad date, just being with you. And only you. Some others I know, their businesses grow, might never produced if not for a boost from wonderful you. Nobody else
wants to give me a car. Just the world's best marketing czar. It had to be you, Robin, it's true. It had to be you. For thank you. Morning, night, and noon. That's why it had to be you. Only you.
So we have a code of ethics at the office, and that's just the way we work. We stick to our code of ethics, everything works well. So our goal is to be committed to a world-class company. We want to be the premier partner to our clients. We want to be the premier partner to our vendors. We want to account to and be accountable to what our employees see in us and what our shareholders see in us. And the most important goal of all is to give unselfishly. What do I know? Well, I'm a tech. I was a tech. I've been a tech for 20 some odd years. That's what I know. I know how to fix servers. I know how to fix workstations. That's all I know how to do. What don't I know? And that's the biggest step was I don't know marketing. I have no clue about marketing. Until I ran into Robin about 3 years ago at an SMB Nation event. And I sat there all day, and I remember I had to pay $99 to get into that thing. And I was saying, why am I paying 99 bucks? And I sat there all day, and she kept talking, and I kept talking, and I kept, talking to my wife, and she said, oh, this is good, and we kept moving closer and closer. And before you know it, I said, this is phenomenal. I'm killing myself. I'm working 70 hours a week. I'm working weekends after hours. What is MRR? What is managed services? What is all of this stuff? It was like, holy man, a light bulb just went on. So I signed to be in The Apprentice, and then soon thereafter I actually joined the Producers Club. What did I learn? I learned that you have to have a few things in your business. You have to be committed. You have to learn how to run a business. You have to learn how to market a business. There's ways to do that. You have to then implement what you learn. You just sit over there, nothing's going to happen. You have to do this. Then the rewards, when it's all running well, it's phenomenal. One thing that's important is marketing is the key strategy to your long-term success of your company. Cash flow is fine, but if you can't long-term strategically sustain that, you are going to go out of business. That's all there is to it. Marketing is key. So, I'm the CEO of the company. I'm invincible. Who am I accountable to? No one. I can do whatever I want. I can run the business into the ground. I can do anything I want. So what? So I have to have people hold me accountable for what I stand for and what I say. So I joined an accountability group. So, as Fred mentioned earlier, Positive Cash Flow Accountability Group, we met in January of 2011, and I said, I'm going to do something gutsy. I'm going to do something just crazy nuts. I'm going to do a marketing campaign a week. What? A marketing campaign a week. Followed by our weekly phone calls. We did our quarterlies. We had to get on the call and say what we were going to do, what we had done, what was coming down the pipe. Because if you don't do it, they'll call the BS flag on you. There's only so many times you can make excuses. And if you're meeting with them every week, then that's not going to fly. So what did we do? We did 143 touches, over 100 marketing campaigns, newsletters, joint ventures, you name it, we did it. This was just crazy. I want to talk to you on something about who we marketed to. So, medical is our primary vertical. So we send this stuff, communicate with our clients, with potential clients, within about a 40-mile radius. Every doctor, every nursing home, every transcription office, every insurance agent, I know them. They get my stuff. They get my content. We actually did a little event here last year that I actually showed how I actually use tools to find doctors. If you want to participate and find doctors in your community to market to, that tool is there. We actually have that tool to do that. So what's our marketing strategy? We actually break marketing campaigns into quarterly goals. First quarter is security wireless firewalls. Second quarter, BDR, continuity of service. Third one is managed services. And then fourth quarter, towards the end of the year, we tie it all together. We have a continued message. We bring all the messages together. The key is you have to educate your clients before they can buy anything from you. You cannot sell someone who doesn't understand and value what you do. So we actually have a S&C Squared sales education lifecycle. During the quarter, we break it down. Week 1 through 4, we educate the user. We send newsletters out, very little sales push. Why is your employees going on Facebook important? Why are you losing money? Did you know about this? Did you know about backups? Second half, or the second third of the month, we actually talk about, ask the provoking questions. Like, did you think what this would cost you? What's the best way? We establish ourselves as the expert, as the leading company expert. And then the third week, or the third section of the quarter, we actually then have the webinars, the lunch and learns, the JV campaigns, whatever it takes to actually drive into sales. So slowly we're educating the users, and slowly we're running the marketing campaign. The key with this one is we're actually running multiple campaigns together all at the same time, partially educating, selling, delivering. Educating, selling, delivering. This is our entire multiple campaigns. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So why is it important? Well, because the business life cycle changes all the time. Economy changes, government rules come and go. We have competitors come up. We have financial obligations. You have legal actions. What if you end up with an opportunity of a lifetime? There is an opportunity of a lifetime. May 22nd, 2011, the largest tornado, the most devastating tornado, went through Joplin, Missouri. That's the picture of my office, and that's the picture of my office after the tornado. It was on the ground for 20 minutes. It had a 22-mile path. 30% of the city was completely destroyed, including my offices. We didn't find my desk. We didn't find my roof. We didn't find my door. We didn't find anything. We found a couple of scraps and shrapnel. That was basically what I walked up to. But that was insignificant to us, because our initial goal that day was to help the community, to help with search and rescue, to help people pull bodies out of debris. That was what my senior engineer, Sean, that's what he was doing at a nursing home a block from us. That is the message. When you have your stuff and you're doing stuff correctly, that becomes least significant. That was my building. We lost 50% of our primary customers. We manage around 1,000 machines on a day-to-day basis. 467 of them were gone. Couldn't find them, destroyed, had 2x4s going through them, etc. 21% of the businesses, this is as of last week, have not reopened in that city. $1.3 billion in insurance claims. They removed over 3 times the debris that they did from ground zero. There was a lot of destruction. Well, what choices do we have? Well, I thought maybe I should move into the tornado bunker shelter building business, but that wasn't quite my goal. So we committed to rebuilding ourselves. We committed to rebuilding our clients. We continued delivering to those that weren't affected. I had 50% of my clients that were perfectly fine. Hey, it's business as usual. I need a server fixed. I need stuff installed. We were going through hell, and when you're going through hell, you just keep on going. How was it financially? We had 100% loss of the building. 80% of our clients were physicians. There was 350,000 plus patient records at stake, millions of dollars in insurance in place. We lost $13,000 a month, and MRR completely went away. Many of our clients just said, I'm going to take the insurance check, and I'm going to run. And screw you with your contract. I don't care. You're not going to get it. We lost $247,000 in contracts, and MRRs completely just gone. And the beauty of it is, my insurance company didn't give me a single dime for loss of revenue at all. That still goes on to this day. We have no income from that. What did we do? We committed to bring everybody up. We took care of our customers. We actually brought them up before we even found ourselves offices to move into. We were up in 5 hours. We had every single one of our customers up in 72 hours flat. Thank you. With thousands of injuries, it was absolutely important, it was key critical to have all those patient records available for our customers and their customers. SNC Squared made a difference in Joplin on that day. So, we were committed to marketing. My office is gone. We actually sent out 3 marketing campaigns the week of the tornado. Our newsletter, June newsletter, went out on time. We don't have that done outside. We did that in my basement. The June newsletter went out on time. We increased our marketing after the tornado because it was essential for our clients to know that we are still there, rock solid. Phones started ringing. People started asking us for our managed services. And the key was they were asking for SNC Squared Enterprise Guardian. They weren't saying, do that thing and take care of it all. They were asking it by name. Clients were firing their competitors or their managed service providers, and they were coming over to us. So how did we end up? We added $1 million to the bottom line, or to $1 million in revenue, 1,451% to the bottom line. That was phenomenal. Not only did we gain all the MRR that we lost, by the end of the year, we added 28% to it, 15% increase in clients, and 20% in MRR clients, and 20% in total number of clients. So that was last year. Okay, so what are we doing this year? This year, well, we're building the brand new SNC Squared offices, 7,400. By the way, we're paying it out of our own pocket. No bank at this time. We've already, since the beginning of the year, increased 6,600 in MRR, 12% in additional number of MRR clients year to date, 17% in new clients, and 14% bottom line. Additionally, for what we pulled off, we actually got recognized in PBS, NPR, CRN, Missouri Health Information Magazine. We are now talking to people about what they need to do to keep their business going, from marketing, from disaster recovery, across the board. People say you're lucky. I was lucky. My family was good. We didn't lose our house. My techs were good. Schools weren't in session. Churches weren't in session. But we were committed to deliver what we told them we were going to do. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's time to give back. I have a website there. I have the tools that we actually used is in there for finding the doctors. I also have all my notes I took during the tornado, what worked, what didn't work, how it came together. I have pictures of everything, first-hand disaster photos that you guys can use in your own marketing. And I also have a what happens to me in case of a disaster template that you guys can actually use and download yourself. Website is there, boot camp goodies on my website. So I want to thank Robin. I want to thank my accountability group for everything they've done. I want to count the 267 of you who actually reached out to me and helped. My wife and children, they're my biggest cheerleaders of all time. My staff, they know who they are. And thank God for giving me the wisdom, the strength, and the power. I have a message for you from Joplin. We're troubled, not distressed. We're perplexed, but not despaired. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cut down, but not destroyed. When I was going through the debris in my office, I found this book. This book is moldy, it's been hit by a brick, it's got dust still in it. And how did I know when I pulled this book up that this would be my mantra for the next year? The book, The Time Is Now, the person is you. So I ask you that, is the time now and are you the person? Just a summary.
Once upon a time, there was a company called SNC Squared in a city called Joplin, Missouri. The owner's name is John Motazity. John was good at computers. He was good at all things technical. He was even good at wearing Hawaiian shirts. But John didn't know much about how to run a business and even less about marketing. Still, John was able to run his business and was doing okay, but not great. Since John was good at computers and all things technical, his clients liked him and frequently told others about him and his company. And that is how his company grew. Slowly, sporadically, and only by word of mouth. Then, one sunny day, John went to SMB Nation. There, he went to a marketing session that Robin Robbins presented, and she was a hot redhead. She asked everyone in the session, "What are you all doing for marketing?" "That's what I thought," she said. Then she introduced us to the Technology Marketing Toolkit. John said, "That's exactly what I need." So John bought the toolkit, brought it home, opened it up, read the first few chapters, closed it, and put it on a shelf for about 6 to 9 months. Then John had enough of growing at a snail's pace. So he started to use the toolkit, slowly at first. He sent out a few newsletters, and he got a few leads. He thought, "Hey, this works." Then in January, at the Producers Club meeting, Robin challenged everyone to take on a big goal for the year. So John decided to do one campaign per week for the whole year. John marketed all the time. He marketed when it was sunny. He marketed when it rained. He even marketed when a massive tornado came through town. Here's what happened. Leads started coming in at a steady pace. Lots of leads closed. Lots of new monthly recurring revenue. SNC Squared grew by 88%. And now, everyone in Joplin knows SNC Squared, and it's all because of a hot redhead named Robin Robbins and her Technology Marketing Toolkit. So now, John would like to thank Robin. And John's wife Renee would like to thank Robin too, since she gets to see more of him now. And John's kids would like to thank Robin too, because they're polite. And that's the story of how SNC Squared became a successful marketer. The end. Oh yeah, and vote for John.
It is an absolute honor to be a finalist with these fine people here today. Now, my name is Jennifer Holmes. I am the president of MIS Solutions in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am so excited to share with you how we generate over 20 leads a month and close over $2,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Because let me tell you, when you do that, when you accomplish that, your life changes, my friends. The shackles come off. You get to fire bad clients. You get to spend your time working with the clients that you truly love and that are profitable. Your world absolutely changes. You get the freedom to market, to attract new clients. So it is an absolute life changer. You also get to put cash in your bank account. Is that good? Okay. And you get to quit worrying about how you're going to make payroll. Is that good? All right, very good. Now, a little background about myself. My husband, Liam, and I, and our handy-dandy MasterCard, started MIS Solutions about 17 years ago, and came to about 2010, and we were just frustrated because we just couldn't seem to get that sales and marketing engine off the ground, and we were just tired of depending on sporadic referrals. We knew that we needed to have leads coming in. So I got this invitation from Robin Robbins to come to boot camp, and I was skeptical. But I came. I took a risk, and I came. I sat there in the audience, right over there by Doug Johnson, approximately where he is right now. And I thought to myself, is this going to work for my business? Really? I also thought, cover your ears, Robin, this is cheesy. It doesn't look professional, my friends. So the one thing I did, though, is I came here with an open mind and an open heart. Because when you do that, you can learn. And I have to say, if you're committed to learning, your world changes. Now, I came here asking the question, what's the one campaign that's going to make the phone ring off the hook? Does anybody think that? That was the wrong question, my friends. The question is, what is the one commitment that I need to make? And that commitment is to become a student of marketing. It was like Brendan said this morning, you have to change yourself. And my friends, I was the student. I committed here in this room, over there by Doug Johnson. I committed I would become a student of Robin Robbins Marketing. And here's what happens, guys. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And my teacher was Robin. So it was an amazing, amazing thing. So, are you ready to learn how we generate 20 leads per month consistently and close over $2,000 a month? Put your hands together. Well, I am so excited to share. Okay, now, take a look here. Basically, we ran 141 different campaigns last year. Now, we started off the year at $81,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We grew that to over $108,000 by the end of the year. My friends, that is over $27,500 in new monthly recurring revenue. The power in that is, on January 1st, that 108 times 12, I already had that amount sold. $27,500 times, we sell 3-year agreements, is nearly $992,000. That means last year, my friends, I wrote service agreements for nearly $1 million. Now, I'm not a big percentages freak, so long story short there is our monthly recurring revenue was up by 34%. Our gross sales were up by 43%. I'm going to talk about the cookbook that many of you received here in just a moment. So that's what we did. Now, here is the cool part. When you come to Producers Club, you get the very best and the brightest. You get champions. You want to hang out with the people you want to become. I came here and I wanted to become the champions that were above this line here, this rope. And the cool part is Robin attracts the world-class vendors. I know Jan Spring is in here. Jan Spring is in here. We met eFolder through Robin Robbins. And let me tell you, if you want a committed partner, one that's competitive, will work with you and listen to you, you need to talk to Jan Spring and her teammates at eFolder. I don't know if you realize this yet or not, but you are in a place, it's an opportunity unlike any other. I mean, you have access to champions who've been there, done that. They can show it, they share it, and you have vendors that are committed too. Now, the difference between champions and amateurs is the champions have their information in order. We learned this from Nito Qubein when he was here. Okay? Now, what Robin teaches us is she gives us marketing systems. And she says, and I love this analogy, she says that if you want the information in order, it's kind of like a recipe, like a chocolate cake recipe. Okay? She gives you the exact tools, the proven strategies, and everything so that you can get the level of success that we had. So I would say, write this one down, that a true marketing system is like a chocolate cake recipe, and it's the information in order. So, how do you get marketing success? Here it is. First, you've got to open your mind and your heart. You've got to make a commitment to achieve, become a student of marketing. You need to implement the Technology Marketing Toolkit or Managed Services Blueprint. You fold in the accountability of the Producers Club, because the lesson isn't learning, my friends. I mean, you can buy this stuff, but if you don't do it, you're not going to get the results and you're not going to get the lessons. And then brace yourself for new leads. Now, I love to share, and I only have a few more minutes left, so I'm going to go very quickly. I did 3 things for you. Number 1, if you stayed at the Renaissance, you should have gotten this cookbook. If you did not, we have extras. It is my recipe. It's my information in order. The second thing, is I have my information in order here, all of the books, the things that we did to be successful last year. I'm going to share them at the cocktail reception this evening. I invite you to come up and talk to my team. Number 3, I put together a website called getchocolatecake.com. So I want you to getchocolatecake.com because I could talk for hours about what all we did. There's videos, instructions, all kinds of templates, everything you need there, okay? Now, I'm going to go into the top 7 highest yielding things that we did last year. We did 141, but I'm going to go very quickly on the top ones. One thing that we did, as Robin provides you in the toolkit or managed services blueprint, is an email section 179 campaign. We sent that out to our list via email, but nobody called. So I spied using vertical response. I saw about 20 of them were opening and clicking through, so we mailed them our Done For You book. Here are the results. We got 3 appointments. We closed $11,688 in monthly recurring revenue from that one campaign. Note to self, get your notes out. Take notes, make notes. Do this one in October, November. You will get results. Second one, cloud computing. By a show of hands, how many of you have a cloud computing, sell cloud services? Raise your hand. Good job. All of you that did not raise your hand, if you are not raising your hand, you are not in the conversation, you're going to miss deals. Now, the other finalists up here mentioned, you can run a cloud seminar and sell managed services. Here's the scoop for us. We sold a prospect for $1,470 monthly recurring revenue, and we sold 3 existing customers for another $8,800 in monthly recurring revenue. If we didn't have a cloud platform, we would have lost that business. So, cloud is your friend. The next thing, I participated with Robin in the Google AdWords training with Tim Conkle. Amazing results. We spent $14,000 last year. We generated 23 leads, 9 were qualified, 3 closed in 2012 and 1 in 2013. $10,000 monthly recurring revenue, my friends. Who would like to get $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue? Me too. All right, Robin teaches this too, client upsell, focus, and strategy. You've got to be in the conversation. Do quarterly business reviews or annual technology business reviews. When clients have a trigger event, maybe it's time for them to look at your managed firewall. Maybe they said at the beginning of the contract, we only want to back up these servers, but then there's a problem with this other server. Now it's a good time. Hey, look, we almost lost this one. Maybe you want to put this one under backup disaster recovery. If you are in the conversation, you can increase your sales. This is the low-hanging fruit. How many people are doing monthly or quarterly promotions to their clients? Okay, the rest of you, make a note. Do that. This is the easy stuff, my friend. Speaking. Robin teaches you with her 2-hour marketing miracle that you can close a lot of business using seminars. We had success doing that as well. 2010, we sold $39,000 in services. 2011, we sold more. In 2012, we positioned as a cloud expert. I could talk to you days about this one. If you want to close business, you position yourself as the expert on the stage, and you will close business. Monthly print newsletter. Robin talked about that this morning. I put some instructional videos on getchocolatecake.com. Be in the conversation. This one has been huge for us. This is the very first place I started. After I got out of the boot camp that first year with Doug, I went back, and this is where I started. So if you're looking for a place to start with your newsletter. Referral program. I have to thank Tom and Rich. They said, you need to have a referral program. Make it part of your fabric. Well, guess what? It is in our newsletter. And I went back and added all of that up since late 2010, because that's when I actually rolled out a referral program. 18,000 of my monthly recurring revenue is from referrals after I started the referral program. Who has a referral program? Good. The rest of you, make notes. All right, how to replicate our success. Ready? Commit to becoming a student of marketing. If a sales chick in Atlanta that couldn't generate any leads and couldn't sell can do this, you can do this too. Model successful members here. They are champions among you. Learn from them. That's how I became. These people invested in me, and now I can turn and invest in them. Implement consistently and frequently. And expect greatness, my friend, because life delivers what you expect. And if you expect greatness, you will achieve it. I'm proof positive of that. Now, quickly, this is a contest. And you're about to vote, the little pink sheet here. Let me tell you. 2 reasons why I believe I am the best candidate for this position. Yes, we would all like a Lexus, but if you're on this stage, you can afford to buy your own Lexus. Okay? Number 2, spokesperson. I have over 32 proven case studies of how I have helped people in this room. If I have helped you or my team has helped you, would you please raise your hand? Thank you. Now, I like to have fun. So, we said marketing is like a chocolate cake. I present to you, if you do all of the things that Robin says and you invest and become a student of marketing, you will have a supreme chocolate cake. And I invite you tonight at tonight's reception to enjoy and delight in some success of chocolate cake. This is a 7-layer chocolate ganache cake by the best bakery here in Nashville, Dulce Desserts. What do you think? Now, closing comments. My name is Jennifer Holmes with MIS Solutions. I have over 32 proven case studies of how I've helped people in this room. I would love to be spokesperson so that I can continue sharing and encouraging and inspiring IT business owners like you. So I would like for you to vote for Jennifer Holmes of MIS Solutions. One last comment. If you just can't figure it out, because these are some rock stars, don't stress, my friends. Vote MIS. Thank you.
All right, so, wow, I'm loud, and I'm even taller than I thought I would be. So who here wants to grow their business? All right, perfect, I'm in the right place. Me too. Let's start off at the beginning of 2013. Our small accountability group here, motley crew of 4 or 5, got a book called Traction, and with Traction, we took the tools out of Traction and we basically formed our weekly accountability call, which is 4 hours in total length. Daniel Wang beats us down until midnight every week. But this allowed us to kind of shape our core values, set a goal to grow 25% throughout the last year. And what happened was, surprising to me, we doubled our company and tripled our net profits. Not to mention we added $80,000 of MRR. So some of you might be thinking maybe I'm some kind of like super genius MBA, and actually it's quite the opposite. I never went to college. I actually moved out of my house when I was 16. I worked like 2 or 3 jobs to finish the last 3 years of high school. But I always knew I loved technology and I loved people. So I started taking night classes for the Microsoft MCSC and Cisco CCNA certifications. I landed a job in network administration. And a few years later, the company actually ended up closing. So I found myself just helping people around town, and I figured, this is probably what I was meant to do. So I formed my company, ITS. There's a couple of things I realized I didn't understand how to do, namely marketing, accounting, sales, HR, service delivery, small stuff. And besides the small stuff, we ran into a few challenges along the way. Oh, I forgot my top ramen slide. I ate a lot of top ramen when I was in high school by myself. But a few of the things we ran into were 2007, 2008, we actually lost $120,000. I had to take a second mortgage out of my house, and I maxed out a $100,000 credit card just to make it through that year. Then the next year, one of our employees decided to embezzle $33,000 from us, and that wasn't even the worst. Just 2 years ago, we lost half our MRR in 2 months. I had to lay off half my company. It was probably the worst thing I ever had to do, but I did learn a lot during that experience. Namely, I learned to ask for help. I asked for help so much that Daniel Wang used to tease me about joining every group that came along. And I told him, there's so many people, so many great people and great ideas, I just couldn't help myself. And to prove that I'm still asking for help to this day, I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do with this presentation? I am not this presenter kind of person. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call everybody in the producer club and ask you guys, what should I do? So unfortunately, I didn't get a hold of everybody, but the few things that you guys told me you want to hear about were the high margin products that we sold to new and existing clients. You wanted to hear about the marketing campaigns that we did last year to grow our business, which ones worked and which ones didn't. And you also wanted to hear about how our hiring system to find good people. How do we grow from 8 to 24 people in 15 months? So let's jump into it. I got two high margin products to go over. VoIP phone systems is the first one. Probably a lot of you are selling VoIP phone systems currently. If you're not, you really should. We didn't know which one to go with, so we tested a lot of on-premise systems and hosted systems, and eventually we ended up with one called Star2Star. Now, we liked Star2Star at the time because the training was good, it was easy to understand, but best of all, the margins were huge. So we're literally making about 60% margin on every phone system that we sell. The second thing that we rolled out last year was MetroE Fiber. Now, this is probably one of the most exciting things for me. I gotta tell you, I love fiber, and I'll tell you why in a second. But those of you that don't understand what it is, it's a physical fiber optic cable in the ground that your telephone and your cable carriers will run throughout your city. And it allows you to connect your data center network back to your client's office, so you can stream like cloud services, offsite backups, phone service, even internet. So the greatest thing about fiber, and why I love it so much, was we implemented that last year, and we added an additional $24,000 per month at 49% margin. Now, this product is not, $24,000 a month worth of help desk calls or crypto viruses and stuff like that. It's either on or it's off. And luckily, it's always on. That's good. So another thing that we learned was when you take those two products and you have a couple new products to talk to your client base about, you get your foot in the door a lot easier. So one example, we called on a prospect for about 6 months regarding IT support, and they always told us they're happy with their IT guy, they didn't want to talk to us. Until one day we called them and said, hey, do you want to talk about phone systems? Maybe we can save you half on your phone bill. They said, sure. And at the end of that meeting, they asked us, what else can we do as a company? So we explained our IT services, and we ended up selling them a Total Care agreement and a 20 meg fiber line for $4,200 per month. Not to mention a $12,000 phone system at 60% margin. So those are two, I can't stress it enough, those are awesome products to get put into your portfolio. All right, so marketing campaigns. If you're spending money on marketing and you're not tracking the results, it's kind of like playing darts blindfolded, expecting to hit the bullseye. It just doesn't work. So for us, we have a simple marketing matrix where we have all our campaigns laid out, and we can track the results from month to month. We have a specific trackable phone number for each campaign, so we know how many calls are coming in. Now, regarding our campaigns, much like Mike was saying, we just have a core of campaigns that we do consistently. We're not reinventing the wheel every month. We just figure out what works, make a process, and let it rip. And then we'll try something else, add it to the mix, and let it go. So let's dig into some of the campaigns that had good results. This slide is pretty interesting when I put it together. It shows how much MRR we've closed from each campaign and the monthly recurring cost. So you can see, referrals is great, PPC is great, newsletter is great, but networking and joint ventures, if you don't have a huge marketing budget, maybe this is a place you start. Maybe you start, just calling up other people that already do business with your client base. It worked pretty well for us. Some of the campaigns that didn't work so well were the Dream 100, the email newsletter, and the email tech tip. Now, I got to mention one thing about the Dream 100. In 2012, this was a huge campaign for us. We closed $25,000 per month. But where we went wrong is we didn't update the list from 2012 to 2013. So please learn from my failure and keep your list up to date. But enough about that. Let's jump into some of the big campaigns. Referrals, like many people up here, were pretty decent for us. A few of the insights we had were change up the referral gift on a regular basis. We try to change ours every month, 1 to 2 months. We include it in all of our invoices. We put it in our paper newsletter. And we also have our salespeople talk about it when they go to the client meetings. A few things that people really responded to were the Kindle Fire HD, maybe having a private lunch from a chef, and also Visa gift cards. The next campaign was Google Pay-Per-Click. Where's Tim Conkle, by the way? I don't know. There he is. This is my personal shrine to Tim Conkle. I tried PPC, Pay-Per-Click, 2 or 3 other times in the past. Got mixed results, spent a lot of money, and I personally wrote it off entirely. I was like, I'm never doing PPC again. Then finally, Tim comes along. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to do PPC, and it's going to be great. And you just, pay me some money." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm going to lose $5,000 or whatever it costs." But luckily, I was on the fence. But luckily, I invested in it and came back, worked the system, and you know what? I'm super excited to say that it totally works. We closed $17,000 a month MRR. A few things that we learned were how to control our costs using schedules and also negative keywords. And also introduced us to the concept of cost per call, which was great. The third thing that we did was paper newsletters. Now, some of you might have heard my story on the conference call where we used to only send paper newsletters to 250 of our current clients. Then one day I got a call from a guy, and he said, "Hey, I've been getting your newsletter for the last 6 months, so I figured you're still in business. I hate my IT guy, so I want to talk to you guys about IT support." So at that moment I go, all right, how many other people would call me if I simply just sent them the newsletter? Well, as it turned out, we sent the newsletter to more people. We started getting results, and now we send the newsletter to 4,000 businesses per month. A couple insights. We use the US bulk mail stamp. Compared to a first-class stamp, it gets the same open rate, but it costs half the postage. And also, we try to include our pictures on every newsletter as well. It kind of allows people to get to know who we are. They can see how our company's growing. And one last thing to wrap up the marketing section here is a quick story about Moxie. Now, you may or may not be familiar with Moxie, but Moxie was the first soda in America to be mass marketed. Back in the early 1900s, ads were everywhere for Moxie. It was kind of like the Coke or Pepsi of its time. And then in the 1920s, Moxie, the actual word Moxie, was added to the English language to mean guts or courage. So it kind of sounds like a marketing success story, but the only problem was it tasted like root beer flavored cough syrup. It was totally disgusting. So the moral to this story is, even the best campaigns in the world could be worthless if you don't have the service or the product or the team to back them up. Now, speaking of teams, we all heard there's no I in team. But actually, I found there was. Thanks. So, like many of you, finding the right people, it was a huge challenge for us. I mean, I dreaded it the most. We're already all busy. Then we got to read resumes and call people on the phone, eventually hire them, then only to find out that they weren't a good fit. So as we were growing our company so rapidly last year, we knew we had to introduce something into our system that could make this process much more efficient. And that product is called HireSelect. So if there's one thing you write down from this presentation, write that down, look that up. That's going to be a huge differentiator for you going forward. What HireSelect allows us to do is have applicants go to a website, upload their resume, fill out an application, and then go through a series of 6 assessments. The assessments take about 90 minutes to complete. And at the end of the assessments, we can determine, are you intelligent or are you not so intelligent? And that helps a lot. It literally saves us hundreds of hours. But just having intelligent, smart people on your team, doesn't do everything. You have to create an environment that they want to stay in. Our whole goal for our culture and our company was to build a culture that was so good that no one ever wanted to leave. And we do that through investing in training for the specific techs. We stopped expecting to hire super techs and then have them do all the work. We will hire smart people and then train them in what we want to do. We've also created career paths for people and also had a couple of unique perks. So one thing that we do is we buy lunch for everybody every day, and we have a personal trainer that comes to our office 3 days a week. So a couple things happen after you have these high margin products, you have some awesome campaigns, you have an amazing team, strong culture, that's all great. What happens next is you start to have some dreams come true. Here's a picture of me sleeping on the couch with my cell phone. Kind of an odd picture, I'm sure you're thinking, but hear me out here. I used to get alerts for every server that went offline, every disk-based alert, server offline, firewall down, all that stuff, much like you guys. Now, one day, it just stopped coming through. I figured my cell phone's broken or my Kaseya server broke, right? So I called my guys and I'm like, hey, what's going on? They go, yeah, we just took you off the list. We figured you had better things to do, and we got this handled. And at that moment, I felt, wow, I actually have a real company now. This is awesome. This company's like running itself. It's amazing. So that was one huge thing that was a huge result out of last year. The other thing was I had a dream. Actually, you know what? I made a goal when Robin. Remember when we went to Lifebook 4 years ago? I had so much debt. I mean, all these things, right? It was bad news. I set a goal to pay off my house. That was like my main thing. And I can happily say that through all the things that happened last year, I was able to pay my house off in January of 2014. Thank you. To me, it's just feeling good, having the security that I have a place for my family to live, no matter what happens. So that meant a lot to me. Sure, get them. You got to hunt it out. Come on. So speaking of family, having this company that kind of runs itself now has allowed me to take vacations with my family. Spend time with my two kids that are 8 and 6. We're never going to get those years back. So that's felt really good as well. Now, I want to leave you with a couple things. One thing, you're in the right place. I've been a part of Robin's organization probably 8 years or so, and I got to say, as I told you before, I joined every single group out there. This is the place with the best people. I mean, Robin's amazing. She gives you the materials, but literally everybody here has so many great ideas. You have to be part of this organization. And if I can do anything for you, please feel free to reach out to me at this contact information here. And my last 30 seconds, I'm going to leave you with a quote that helps me every day because I'm a fairly disorganized, spread thin kind of personality, right? And I have this quote on my monitor out of the book called Good to Great. And that quote is, greatness is a matter of choice and discipline. So I'm going to ask you, choose to get started, choose to be great, and choose Tom Andrulis for Better Your Best. Thank you.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago if I'd be back on stage, the answer would have been hell no. Sorry, Mom, who's probably watching. It's funny how this works because even an hour ago, my guys in my accountability group will tell you, and my daughter who texted me this morning will tell you that I was very, very nervous. I've been up here enough times, it shouldn't be an issue, but even then, it's one of those things that we all go through, and you've got a great group of people up here, a lot of who I've known and worked with for several years, and so this opportunity came through between guys like Scott and those who are in the Genius group with me, my accountability group, and really kind of all Robin. Matter of fact, Robin actually chose a theme from my last campaign for Robinopoly for this event, so I was very excited about that. That was very, very nice of her. So this contest, at the end of the day, is about how we improved. And my question for everybody out here is, how many of you had your best year in 2014 by show of hands? There's an awful lot of people in the front of the room that have been using Robin's marketing successfully, and that's why they're here. So our entire program, all of our marketing, everything that we do starts and originates from the Technology Marketing Toolkit. Every piece of it, it all came from there. We didn't go out and try to reinvent the wheel. We just tried to take what Robin gave us and use it, test it, refine it, use it again until it works. And so that's kind of where we started all this. So a little bit about me. I started my business in 2004. That was not long after we had sold a business, IT services, to a publicly traded company during the dot-com boom, and we didn't get out fast enough, and so our stock was worth absolutely zero, and I had to start over again and say, okay, what am I going to do? So in 2004, I said, I'm going to start this business. It's going to be just me. I'm going to have no employees. I'm not going to go through that mess again. And I'm going to have a really nice lifestyle business. And so from 2004, 5, 6, 7, up the line, you can kind of see it was a one-man band working out of my little Honda CR-V, and I was taking care of all the things that you do as an owner and those kinds of things. And by the end of 2009, I was kind of getting a little frustrated. I'm like, okay, I've got too many customers and I'm too busy, so I might need some help. But I don't really know what to do. So I got a PSA and I got a managed service product so I can have RMM and recurring revenue. And this thing shows up in my mailbox right at the end of 2009. And it's a campaign from Robin, and literally it's postmarked December 31st, 2009. That was my first introduction to Robin. And there's a CD in here. I don't have it with me, it's actually in my truck, but it's like 9 steps to make a whole bunch of money. And I listened to it and took all kinds of notes about 6 times. I still had that notepad where I took all those notes. And I went back and showed my wife and listened to it. And she's like, well, go do it. I said, okay, well, I'll do that. So my first year with Robin, we jumped from that $175,000 to up in the $300,000 range by just putting a few of her campaigns in play. Okay, just a few. And I tried to make them pretty. There's somebody here who knows I've got a sister who's a graphics designer, and she tried to talk me into making it pretty. That didn't work. And Robin and Jeff finally talked me into just do it, and then do it over and over and over and over and over again, and be very consistent with it. This is what happens. The next 3 years, take off. It's kind of like investing. I mentioned this yesterday in the Continuum conference. The first time you put money into your 401k, you can't retire. You think you can, you're like, yes, I'm investing now. No, you gotta do it every month over and over and over again. So it's a repeatable, consistent process. When you do that, this is what happens. Well, in 2014, we more than doubled our business. We went from 1.2 million to 2.6. We added $194,995 in net profit. And that's pretty cool. You heard this morning with Kevin O'Leary on stage. When you've got some money, you've got some freedom. And that's what Robin has done for us, is given that ability, that ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm very grateful for that. So here's our numbers. And there's a few things there I want you to look at really quick. 105% revenue increase. MRR, we added almost $80,000 a month in new MRR last year. Our total clients went up a little bit. But look at that next line. Number of recurring revenue clients actually dropped by 1%. And that's because Robin introduced me to Mike McKelowicz and the Pumpkin Plan. And so we started weeding the garden, getting rid of customers that were noisy, that were not profitable, that were not good. And we were replacing them with high margin, high quality customers that actually appreciate our service, pay us on time, and want to be part of what we do. And so that's how you go through and grow your business 100% and not add any more customers. Well, what did that actually look like? So Robin mentioned this, I think it was last night or this morning. The very first thing we did last year was got the spreadsheet. I put out there all of our customers, top to bottom, all of our products, left to right. And I started checking off which customers had which products. Now, where there are lines where there's no dots, is because they aren't customers anymore. Okay, that they didn't fit what we were trying to accomplish. So we figured that out quick, made those changes, and away we went. But then we built our marketing calendar for the entire year based on what customers hadn't bought yet. Our cheapest customer to grow are the ones we already had. So we sold back into them. We built marketing campaigns to go back after them. And it was amazing. And I actually have this spreadsheet out on the dashboard, so if anybody wants to use it themselves this year, it's out there. Oops. So I talked to a lot of you before the event and asked what you wanted to hear and what you wanted to know about. And the question was well received, and people said, well, what did you use last year? What grew your business? Well, last year, Tom said VoIP. He said VoIP about 19 times in his presentation, so I thought maybe VoIP would be a good one. Thank you for that, Tom. That made me a lot of money. We did HIPAA and healthcare IT work, Windows 7 and XP upgrades. Howard mentioned that. We started looking for more products to increase our recurring revenue so that we were stickier with our clients. So cloud services, spam filter, BDRs. And I think I did a presentation back in January about adding E in front of everything. So we started doing e-mobility, e-wireless, e-RMM, whatever it was, we put an E in front of it, and the enterprise made it more valuable to our clients. So the campaigns we did, I'm gonna go through them pretty quick because there's a lot here. Sunflower seeds, cybercrime, not feeling the love campaign, lumpy mail combinations. I think those cost us combined about $2,200, and we made $41,000 on them. More examples. We did a HIPAA one about don't be scared for HIPAA. Bad date. We sent the bad date 4 times last year. I love the bad date campaign. Anybody else here make a lot of money with that? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a great campaign. It just keeps working for us. I've been doing it every year, year over year over year, because it pays for us. We did the Jeweler's Loop Dream campaign. We can take a closer look at your network. Again, these campaigns cost me about $5,000. And we made $84,000 on those. Consistency matters, and our newsletter and all the pieces around that, the Blackjack campaign and the Summer Heat campaign, there's more that we used. But being consistent in front of your customers and your prospects makes a big difference. And when it was just me, it was hard. So you learn how to do one really well, do the newsletter. Then when you get the newsletter figured out, add one more on top of it, and you get better. And so after 5 years, you can grow your business this way because you've got these processes down that really work well. And people have asked, well, do you actually do your own mailings? Yeah. I still fold campaigns. We still stuff them. We still stamp them, and we send them out. We do them in batches now. We get a little bit more efficient at it, but we're still doing it. My wife's gotten involved. My daughter's gotten involved. We've got friends that gotten involved. Our engineers are involved because they know the value of marketing for our business and how much it's helped us. So on the left there is actually the best campaign we sent last year. The campaign had 0 cost. It was a very simple email Robin drafted and said, here, Jay, try this. And it took me about a month to convince myself to do it because I was kind of afraid. You know, it's that fear of the unknown. But it was basically an email to our existing customers who don't have our voice over IP product. And it went something like, I'm looking over your account and notice that you don't have our voice over IP product. Well, we emailed it to 126 clients. We had 32 immediate responses. We had 8 opportunities, and we closed 5 deals worth $142,000 to us. It doesn't get any easier than that. And Robin laid it out for me. I was just hesitant, and I should know better by now. She's been telling me all these years, just do it. So all the campaigns we did and what went out, all said and done, we sent 103 of Robin's campaigns last year. That's almost 2 a week. Okay, some were emails, some were direct mails, but we got them out because we know it will help us grow our business. Other tools that we use. We use the book that Producer Club members have. We use it everywhere. We use it in our shock and awe. We use it in prospecting campaigns. We send it as Christmas gifts. You just never know when someone's going to read it and take on with it. Texas Tim's Google AdWords. I've not been very good at it, but in the last few months, we kind of started paying attention to it, and we increased our radius and did some things he wanted us to do. Right now, we're getting an almost like 1.97% click-through rate. And I have not changed his campaign. I didn't change an ad. I didn't change the words. I just got my negatives right and did it his way, and it works for us. The online shock and awe. This is actually one of my biggest secrets from last year that's paid off. Robin has this online shock and awe package that you can email out to prospects, and it works great. You set up the meeting before your sales call, and then they know who you are and what to expect. Well, I tied that into her LinkedIn training, and we actually built some online shock and awes specific to products. So in this case, it was about HIPAA assessments and compliance. And I'll go on to LinkedIn and make connections with people that are in the medical practice, and then email them over the link to the online shock and awe that is purely about compliance, things that they need to be aware of. And it worked really, really well for us. I actually have the sample of it there online because I like to share stuff. So down the bottom right corner, you should be able to see the link if you want to see it in real life. I've got it out there for you. Speaking of sharing, our team is committed to giving back in the community that we serve. So in the last several years, we've raised over $300,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And last year, we also raised an additional $79,000 for our local school system to put wireless Khajiit devices into the library to be checked out for kids that can't afford internet who need to do their homework. And so our school system has been very thankful for that. Something else funny happened last year. How many of you have an exit strategy or plan to get out of your business at some point? You want to sell it, you want to make some money, or how many of you are actually going to just run your business until you die? Okay, I didn't think so. So last year, there's actually a new Producer Club member in here, Kevin, introduced me to this company that was out there, and they were selling Cisco and Avaya phones, but they didn't know how to get into IT services. They tried it, they couldn't figure it out, and they were looking for a company that had a good team, had a history of growing monthly recurring revenue, they knew how to market, et cetera. And so in the middle of last year, we actually sold our business to Digitel. And part of that deal is Jay's got to stay on and keep running the managed services division and keep doing what Robin taught him to make us successful. And that certainly has its challenges. I've got a better checkbook today, I admit that. But I can definitely tell you that it's a process you go through, and I've been involved in several mergers and acquisition type deals, both buying and selling, and it creates some chaos for you. It's not a sob story. I'm not at all sad, but it was not possible without the marketing that Robin helped us do. So that's kind of why I'm here, is to actually share what we've done and what's worked for you. You know, what has Robin done specifically for our family? Well, our bank account's better. I like that. You know, more zeros are a good thing at the end of your checking balance. My kids, my wife sees more of me than they ever have, because I don't have to worry about being out at night because I've got a great team. And a lot of this was not possible without our team. Last year, our team actually went through the SOC 2 process and got certified. We made the MSP Mentor top 501. We actually ranked 201 globally and 160 in the nation. And what's really key about that revenue number is when you get these processes down, whether it's marketing or service, we actually doubled our revenue last year, but I started the year and ended the year with the same number of employees. We didn't add a single employee to do that additional revenue because our team got good and got focused. They got Jay out of the way, they went and took care of those things, they put process in just like we do for marketing. And so Robin's reminding us that great marketing lists are built, so are great teams. Speaking of teams, this whole group is an extension of my team. There's many people up there, there's probably a few I missed, I apologize. But you know, whether it's Jennifer talking to me about execute, or Tom telling me VoIP, or Jennifer telling me how to get that 1 minute pitch down to your business, Satima and her CEO, Rockstars, or Rochester Rockstars, that's awesome. And that's the stuff that I learned from this group and that you guys can too as part of the Producers Club. Robin's team, putting on this kind of event is amazing. From her staff, plus Austin and his team, thank you guys, because we've learned more from you guys over the years watching how you do things, and it's great. So using Robin's marketing, we increased our revenue by $1.3 million, our profit by almost $200,000. We added over almost $80,000 in recurring revenue. We give back, and in case you don't know, I'm willing to share all of our campaigns. I'm not one to keep them quiet. We achieved some personal business growth. We certainly bettered our best year ever. And if you'd like me to be your spokesperson, I'd humbly accept your vote. Thank you very much.